The reason your podcast is struggling to gain traction as a business owner or an expert is because you keep focusing on what you want and what your guests want to talk about instead of obsessing over this one thing that's helped clients like Kyle and John, who went from 600 monthly downloads all the way up to 6,000 plus monthly downloads in just 6 months and added $1 million to their pipeline. They stopped obsessing over what they want to talk about or what their guests want to talk about and finally started obsessing over what matters the most, which is your listeners' pain points. Figuring out the exact listener you want to attract to your show and obsessing over what are the things that's keeping them up at night within your area of expertise. So for example, Raven, her podcast was all about helping women overcome narcissistic relationships. She obsessed over the pain points, the problems, the issues, the self-doubt, the worry, the fact that the women feel guilty when they keep going back to the partner that's been abusive and that isn't healthy for them. The fact that they can't seem to control themselves and have these impulsive behavior. The fact that they get constantly up at night thinking about how much they've been screwed over by this guy. Those are the pain points of her listeners. Now, instead of just talking about what she wants to talk about or what her guest wants to talk about, she spoke on every single episode and made sure each one covered those pain points. And then she showed and presented her podcast and the content, the topic she covered on her show. Every single one was positioned as the solution to the painful problem her audience was going through. Or Kyle and John, they help high net worth individuals in Canada save on their tax saving strategies. Their entire content strategy, the things that they talk about, is all about focusing on helping those individuals solve the painful problems they have around paying too much in taxes. Now, what this does is it makes your podcast so magnetic because every single episode is made with a specific person in mind. Every single episode has tremendous amount of value. And because every single episode is focused on your listener, not yourself, and that's how you're able to blow up your podcast by not focusing on what you want or what your guests want to talk about, but by focusing on the painful problems your listeners are going through. That is how you create a magnetic podcast that gets binged and makes you a boatload more money.